good morning. I wanted to kind of join you a little bit early so I can allow you to kind of grab props that we're going to need for Jay's class. If you haven't joined me already yet, my name's Laura, and we're going to do a gentle class this morning. So I want you to grab, if you have blocks, perfect. So grab 2 of them, or just use books or something if you have that handy. And then also 2 blankets. We're going to use both of them for various things today. So I'm going to start with taking one of the blankets that I have and unfolding it. Unfolding it actually all the way, so we have a nice wide open blanket here. And then I'm going to fold it in half. So we want to have a nice long blanket. And we're going to, again, fold it in half one more time. So we have this little sheet. And if you can, try to get the edges matched up as best as possible. All right, from here, just start to roll the blanket so that we're creating this little tube. So roll up blanket here. All right, so you're going to end up with this lovely little rolled blanket. All right, and we're going to take our blocks or books, depending on what you're using today, or if you don't want to use these at all, that's fine too. I'm going to place them on my mat, place that rolled blanket on top, and my other blanket, and this is again preference, if you choose to. I'm just going to unfold it so that it's really like the thinnest level here and place it for my head. All right, so making our way to our backs to start our practice, and you might need to make a little bit of adjustments here. I'm just going to allow my legs to rest over the support that I created, and just take the blanket that you're using for your head if you choose to do that, and just kind of make the adjustments. You can actually kind of bunch it up a little bit to add extra support if you need, or just let your head rest flat on the support blanket. And we're just going to lie here for a few moments and just going to work on the breath awareness. So palms are facing up. And we're just breathing in and out of our nose. Allowing the body to settle into our support, our mat, our props. And try to take the breath and allow for nice deep inhales and deep exhales. Allowing the breath just to travel up and down the body, coming to any of those tight or sore spaces that you may have. Maybe a lot of us are feeling a little under stress, so we might have a lot of those spaces. So letting the breath travel to those little spaces. And then offering some comfort, some relaxation. Just take a few more moments here. Maybe you're gently kind of drifting off, but just kind of bring yourself back and invite just some easy movement. And maybe the head, I'm actually just gonna start taking my head and rocking it really slowly back and forth. So maybe with your exhale, you take it to one side, inhaling it back to the center, and then exhaling it over to the other side. So really, really easy for your body. And maybe you're incorporating, if you can, it's always like one of those patting the head and rubbing the tummy at the same time. You kind of wiggle the fingers and the toes a little bit. Just to kind of bring some gentle movements back into the body here. While I would love to stay in this position pretty much the whole day, who knows, after this I might. Just kind of, this is meant to be a little bit of just waking up. We're waking up the body right now. All right, and maybe now you start to take your arms and you stretch them over the head. Maybe your toes are pointing and flexing too, just kind of rolling out your ankles and wrists. All right. And then just kind of relaxing the body for just a moment. Wherever you are, just letting it just fall to the mat. And having your arms above your head just allows for a little heart opening too. So this might feel good to kind of open up the shoulders gently. So we're going to take our right leg and just kind of bring the knee in towards our chest, and we can take our arms now and kind of hold onto the shin and go ahead and flex the foot as well. And with each exhale, just hug the leg in a little bit deeper. And then maybe take it out. We're going to leave the leg kind of pulled into the chest, and we're just going to take the leg out to the side. So allowing it kind of a little bit of a hip opening here. But we don't want to roll over too far, so when you feel like you're starting to roll, maybe just placing your left hand on your left hip to allow it to just stabilize. Good, and then go ahead and bring it back to center. Maybe one more breath in here, squeezing in. And then slowly releasing the leg down. So kind of coming back to that, just like that resting position. All right, we'll bring the left knee in. So same thing, just kind of hold on to the shin. Again, with each exhale, bringing the knee into the chest, and maybe you're kind of rolling those ankles out again. And having the foot flex actually, and this is kind of a weird story, so I actually, last night, I woke up in the middle of the night with a calf cramp, and a lot of the times when that happens, you massage it, and then actually flexing the foot like this allows it to kind of come back to normal, I guess you could say. So yeah, just kind of allowing the foot to come in. All right, we're going to take it out to the left side. So again, maybe that right hand just comes to the right hip as we bring it out to the side. Go ahead and bring the leg back to center. Again, we'll just take one more breath in. And then, squeeze it in with your exhale. All right, go ahead and take both the legs long. Again, we'll just take one more stretch up above the head, really pointing and maybe flexing the feet as we reach up. So that really nice, good morning stretch, and our low back might even kind of come off the mat a little bit. Good. All right, and then from here, walking the knees in. So you don't have to necessarily bring them into the chest. Maybe they're coming to your little makeshift blanket that's here, and we'll just roll to one side. Just take a second here to roll to one side and press yourself up. And we'll remove this out of the way, move this out of the way for now, and move this blanket out of the way as well. So both the blankets and the blocks, we might actually use the blocks so you can keep them nearby. Sometimes if people prefer to kind of lift yourself a little higher, you can take a blanket if you like, or maybe one of your blocks, and just take a little seat on there just to lift the hips up. I'm going to do that right now. All right, so coming to a nice easy seat, whatever that happens to be for you. Let's go ahead and take the palms, we're going to face them up. So allowing some energy, some really nice gentle energy to come into the body now. Soften the eyelids, maybe closing them, or just kind of coming to that soft gaze. And taking yourself to that happy place as you become aware of the breath, again, coming in and out of the nose. And just feeling any sensations that are coming to the body right now. This might even feel completely different than when we were on our back. Maybe the energy just feels a little more different. I mean, we're just starting to wake up. We're starting to move a little bit. It's morning, mid-morning. All right, so at our next inhale, you can keep your eyes closed or open here. We're going to take a deep breath in, reaching those fingertips up. Go ahead and just stretch the arms, maybe the chin just slightly lifts, a little stretch in the neck. And as you exhale, we'll bring the head back to neutral if you lifted it, and we're going to bring the fingertips just down to our sides. So just lightly touching on the ground beside us. Let's take our left ear to the left shoulder. We'll bring the left arm up and over to the top of the head, and just allowing for a little bit of a stretch here. Go ahead and release, and we'll bring the right ear to the right shoulder as we bring that right hand up and over. Good, go ahead and release. We'll bring the head back to neutral, and I kind of just like to do this with the neck, not necessarily bringing it right to the chest, but just kind of start to do these partial rotations. So where you start on one shoulder and then drop it the chin down, and then slowly take it back to the other shoulder. So just like maybe a partial shoulder to shoulder rotation of the neck. And you can kind of take this as slowly or as quickly as you like, or maybe even pausing, lingering in one of the options, like maybe it feels good right here. So you just pause for a moment, or maybe you kind of find where you want to create that space in the back of the neck. So you just drop the chin down. And again, remembering to breathe through the whole thing again. And again, just finding that how it feels different here as we move just ever so slightly. Perfect. All right, we're going to come right back, bringing the head down to the center of the chest. And just taking a few moments here. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and inhale. Bring yourself back up to that nice lengthening spine. We'll bring the arms all the way up, reach them nice and tall. And then kind of lift them about halfway. So we just want to have the arms kind of like, thinking about a zombie, we're reaching the hands out in front. And we're going to first flip up the right palm and bend that elbow. And then take our other arm, we're going to wrap it underneath. So create eagle arms here. And just lifting those arms away from the face as best as you can. Because we want to feel a little bit in our shoulders here. And again, if it feels good, you can always drop the chin to the chest here as well. Nice. And if you have your chin on the chest, go ahead and lift it up. And as we exhale, we're going to open up the arms and take those elbows, pull them back, almost like someone's pulling your arms back for you. So we can open up the chest a little bit. Perfect. Again, we'll bring those arms all the way up, so sweep them up first. And then we'll again bring them about halfway to the center, again, zombie hands. Let's go ahead, flip up the left palm this time and bend the elbow. And then we'll take that right arm, wrap it underneath. And then again, maybe you're taking that head down to the chest. All right, and when you are ready, lifting the head up and opening up, bringing those elbows back as we lift up. And maybe your gaze even comes up here. Perfect. So let's go ahead, inhale, arms come up. And exhale, hands come through the heart center. Just kind of take a moment here, maybe closing that eyes again, or the soft gaze comes in. And this might be a perfect opportunity to take the time, a few moments to set an intention for our practice. And maybe that intention, I'll kind of invite you, if you would like, using gratitude as your intention today. We certainly need a lot of it now, just being thankful that we're able to practice in this method together. We have technology to connect us and reconnect us with our loved ones that maybe can't necessarily see physically. Or maybe you're just grateful for having a roof over your head, having food, having water. Whatever it happens to be, just take maybe one more inhale. And exhale, and as you do, open the mouth, just kind of let go of any tension that you have. Nice, and we'll just release the hands. We're going to bring them to our thighs. This time, again, palms will be down. So sitting up with a nice tall spine. Let's start to inhale, and as we do, we're gonna pull the chest forward, like someone's pulling the chest, our heart forward, and bring the chest up, or chin up. And as we exhale, we're gonna start to push the hands forward onto the knees and around the spine. So maybe that chin comes into the chest. Take a nice deep breath again, inhaling, lifting up the heart. And exhale, start to round into the back. Wonderful. Again, inhale, bring up that chest. And exhale, start to round in. All right. Coming back to a neutral spine, again, sitting up nice and tall. What we're going to do from here, if you're sitting on a block or a blanket, go ahead and remove it from your seat. Just place it to the side. I'm going to come into kind of a stacked knee position. The best as you can do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I'm kind of not really stacked either. All right, and from here, hands maybe just resting on the knees on the lap. We're just really going to take a gentle twist. So just taking your left hand to that bottom right knee, and the other hand can just come behind you, or maybe next to your hip. Gaze can come to the side, Or depending on how deep your twist is, maybe you're coming, kind of looking over the back shoulder. All right, then come back to center. We're going to take the right hand down, lifting that left arm up. And let's take a little side bend over to that right side as well. All right, go ahead and come back to center. Now we're going to switch the stacking of the legs. So just kind of switch them to the other side. This time that right hand's going to walk its way over to the left. And the left hand, again, will just gently place itself next to our hip or maybe behind us a little. And take the gaze where you're comfortable. Walk it back to center, and again, we'll just place that left hand maybe down to our side, lifting that right arm up, and just take a little side bend, side stretch over to the left. Perfect. Go ahead and come back to center. Now I'm going to turn, so my side is towards you, and we're going to come to a stack pose. So legs are going to be extended out straight in front, and we want to have the feet active. So notice my feet aren't relaxed. Here I want to have a nice tall spine and engaging the legs. And you can just place your hands anywhere. If they're comfortable here on your lap, or if it's better for you, hands at your sides and gently kind of touching the mat. So sitting up nice and tall with a nice length in the spine. Sometimes like these kind of poses are the most difficult for people because it's kind of not the biggest movement, but you're keeping yourself still, you're keeping yourself engaged. Okay, go ahead and slowly, we're going to bring the arms up with an inhale. And now when we exhale, we're going to fold forward, but what I want you to do is kind of maybe place your hands here on your shins, and I want you just to kind of edge yourself forward. Now, it's going to be more that your heart is leading you, not necessarily you're rounding in. So it doesn't have to be a far stretch. Keeping the chest lifted, and really your head's lifted here as well. We'll revisit this a little bit later in a different variation. Just kind of take your time here. All right, let's go ahead and walk yourself back up. All right, and then we're going to swing the legs around, coming to a tabletop pose. Now, I encourage, if you have sensitive knees, again, grabbing that blanket here to support your legs or your knees is a good thing. I'm just going to go ahead and place it in the middle of my mat and come again to a nice flat back. All right, walking the hands out from here, keeping my hips lifted, hips about just the same distance apart. I'm going to start to walk my hands forward, and maybe our head doesn't come to the ground here. If it doesn't, you can leave it here, but a block might be something handy. So if you have a block handy, maybe this is where it's going to come. Or maybe you lower it down a bit. Just kind of take a few moments again, kind of allowing the back to lengthen as we come into our puppy pose. hips lifted. All right, go ahead and walk yourself back up. And we'll just place the block to the side for the moment. We might use it before, use it again. All right, so nice again, flat back, lifting the belly into the spine. Let's go ahead and drop that belly down as we lift the heart again, come into a cow pose. Good, exhale, round the back, press away, tuck that chin, coming into our cat. Again, nice deep breath in as we lift that heart up, drop the belly. Pulling the shoulders back, exhale, rounding the spine. We'll do one more round in this for this moment. Just kind of taking your time to release your back. Excellent. And just coming back to the center of our mat. And bringing that spine, like the tummy in towards the spine. And just here, you know, again, just the simplest poses of engaging our belly. All right. So I'll give you the option as well, if you'd like to do it, how you would like to do this. So I'm going to come into a child's pose. Now I feel I like my legs a little wider, or my knees a little wider. Big toes are going to touch no matter where you go. But some people prefer your knees a little closer. So kind of just do whatever your body feels like it needs to do right now. I'm going to sink back towards my heels. Now this is going to be an active child's pose, kind of like how we were when we were in our puppy. And I'm going to bring the block back into the picture. Maybe put it up in the medium height here. And allow my arms to stretch forward. Fingertips are tented. A little bit of a opening again. Maybe I can go down a little further. I'm just going to reach those arms forward. Let's actually walk them now over to the right side, so taking them off the mat maybe. And as you're doing this, really pushing down towards your heel. All right, go ahead and bring it back to the center. And then I'll take them over to the left, so same thing, kind of really pushing back down. All right, go ahead and bring it back to the center of the mat. And we'll walk it back up. Okay. So again, move that block out of the way. We'll do a few cat-cows, more rounds of cat-cows again, just kind of allowing the back to release. All right. Okay, so coming back to a neutral spine, let's go ahead and extend the right toes back. Now we're just going to keep them on the ground. Just stretching them back, and maybe you're going to take a little rock forward and back here. Just stretching the bottoms of the foot. All right, and then we'll come back to center, back to stillness. Let's go ahead and walk the toes all the way off the mat over to the left side. So finding this little side stretch on our right and just taking a peek back at those toes. All right, we'll walk it back to center. And then we'll take the toes all the way over to the right side. I'm going to go ahead and keep my right hand, or excuse me, left hand planted. Lift up my left arm. Other way around, I guess. Leave my left hand planted, lift up the right arm. And just kind of reach up and maybe back a little bit, so twisting open. All right, go ahead and come back to center. Reach the hand down, and then we'll bring the leg back in towards the other. And just take a moment here, maybe kind of come off of your wrist. So we'll do a little exercise stretching the hands and the wrists out. maybe kind of rolling them around in a figure 8, wiggling the fingers, shaking the hands. Again, whatever feels like like it feels right here. I've noticed actually some people crack their knuckles. If that floats your boat, go ahead and do that too. All right, we'll come back to center now. Placing the hands again nice and wide on the mat. Let's go ahead and extend the left leg back. Again, starting to rock forward and back on the toes. All right, wonderful. Coming back to center, we're going to take the toes all the way over to the right side. Again, just kind of peering back at that foot, stretching out the left side body. All right, then floating that leg all the way over to the left. I'm going to plant my right hand planted and lift up that left arm. Start to reach up. Maybe you kind of stop here. Maybe you kind of open up a little bit further. Perfect. Go ahead and come back down to center. All right, taking that foot all the way back. Now here's where we're going to do the child's pose again, but this time, again, taking wide leg or kind of in between. I'm going to actually bring it a lot closer, but still bring my toes to touch. And this time when I come back towards my heels, again, relaxing the arms this time. So maybe you're just kind of resting on your forearms. Maybe you're resting your head down now towards the mat, or maybe you're even taking your hands back towards your heels. Whatever, again, feels better for your body, go ahead and take it. Softening the belly here. You are, go ahead and slowly walk yourself back up. All right, and from here, let's go ahead and come down to the belly. And if you want to, if you're uncomfortable lying on your belly without something underneath, you can have that blanket there handy. I'm actually going to use that today. You just kind of feel a little comfy. So go ahead, come on down. And relax the legs, maybe your forehead or the side of your cheek. One of the cheeks comes to the mat. Let's just take a moment here to relax. All right, so we're going to do a couple little mini back bends. So first, we're going to place the hands about where our upper ribs are. Have the tops of the feet in the mat. So we really want to press down a little bit, offer a little bit of something to kind of hold us down and anchor us down. All right, and we're just going to press up, come into a really little baby cobra. And maybe the gaze just kind of comes to the edge of your mat here. And if you feel like, you got chicken wings, kind of pull those elbows in. Slowly release it down with your exhale. And again, maybe the opposite cheek now finds the mat. Release the arms down. All right, we'll go ahead and do that again one more time. So again, just kind of pressing in. Tops of the feet, and as your palms rest to your fingers, kind of press in. Again, pulling those shoulder blades back, really bringing those elbows in tight towards the body. And gaze, like I said, we want back of the neck. So just kind of bringing the gaze just ahead of us. All right, slowly release yourself down. Again, relax the arms down to the sides. All right, remember, so one more thing we're going to do down here before we kind of move on. We'll do one more back bend. So what I want you to do is you can either have your hands, palms up here, or if you prefer, you can interlace the fingers at the low back. All right, bringing the forehead to center as we zip the legs up. Go ahead and inhale. Slowly, just kind of pulling back on your arms as you lift your chest, lift the legs, pointing the toes. Coming into a locust or round locust pose. All right, and exhale, slowly release yourself down. Again, just finding the comfort of your mat. Let's bend the knees here and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth. And if your arms aren't comfortable here, you can always kind of create this crocodile pose. Just maybe creating a little pillow with your hands. All right, nice. All right, so coming back to stillness, maybe relaxing your legs for just a moment here. All right, and gently gonna press ourselves up. And remember I said we were gonna revisit that staff pose. Let's go ahead and do that now. So just kind of move, again, the blanket out of the way. We wanna come flat on the mat, on our seat, as we extend the legs again forward. So again, wherever the hands are comfortable, if they're here or if they're at your sides, take a few moments engaging the toes. Now, we're going to do a forward fold again. And like I mentioned before, maybe we're going to do this a little bit differently. So if you have your blocks handy, go ahead and place them underneath your thigh, just like kind of right by where your knee is, where your knee joint is. So we just want to have this time the feet actually relax. So you just see that my legs here are relaxed. Now if you have higher blocks and are more comfortable, you can kind of modify it so they kind of look like that. Or you can always just take the blanket and place underneath too. It's totally fine. All right, so having our nice relaxed posture. Again, we're just gonna walk the hands forward. And this time what I want you to do is start to round in a little bit more. So now we're feeling a little bit more on the back as we start to round in. Maybe the head kind of drops. If it's okay, if it's comfortable on your neck, you kind of bring the head down. And these forward folds definitely allow for stress release. So we definitely need this now. A lot of stressful situations happening in our lives. So allowing our nervous system just to take a break. And feeling yourself maybe kind of melting in a little deeper. All right, let's go ahead and slowly walk ourselves back up. And remove the props from underneath the legs. All right, and we're just gonna come back down to that stack pose. Again, it doesn't have to be super intense here, but we do wanna, again, engage the feet again. So taking our right leg, we're gonna bring it into the chest and just gonna cross it over the left. Now, holding on to our shin here, we're just gonna take a really easy twist over to the right side. So just walking the right hand behind you as we hug in. And again, gaze can just come over to that right side following, or if you want to take it further over the shoulder. Center. Now I'm going to take my leg, and you can do one of two things. You can bring the sole of the foot kind of into your calf, or if you want to, you can come into the thigh. And you're just kind of allowing yourself again to kind of walk forward towards that left foot. Again, keeping it nice and active. We won't spend a lot of time here. Just give it 3 breaths. 2. And 1. All right, go ahead and walk yourself back up. All right, we'll extend that right leg out. So again, coming back to that staff pose for a second. And we'll bring the left knee into the chest, giving it a little hug, and then we'll cross the leg over the right. All right, so hugging in that shin. Again, taking that left hand just behind you, sitting up tall, and twisting over to the left side. Keeping your right toes active. Go ahead and bring it back to center. So same thing. Again, wherever you can go. Maybe you're just going to be here, or maybe you can bring it into the thigh. We're just going to spend 3 breaths, so taking it out. 2. And 1. Go ahead and walk it back to center. All right, go ahead and extend the legs just for a moment here. Grab one of your blocks, and we're going to come down to our backs. So just going to take your time, and we're going to have the soles of the feet on the ground. All right, finding a nice neutral spine on our back. We're going to take the block that you have, or a book, whatever it happens to be, and we're going to place it at this lower setting, whatever it is, and place it underneath our hips. Just kind of being mindful that our hips, kind of keeping them at hips distance apart, and allowing our shoulders maybe kind of rolling underneath the upper back if you want, palms down. And if you feel like you want to, close your eyes here. Just slightly lifting the chin, just a teeny bit off the chest. Now, if you're also inclined, another option here while we're in like this supported bridge, you can take one of your legs, or maybe both. Just get a nice stretch on the top of the body. This again is just totally a preference. You can just stay in your bridge pose if you like. or do one leg at a time. All right, and if once you've kind of had enough of that, you can plunk the legs back in. We'll spend maybe 2 more breaths. All right, 1 more breath. All right, let's go ahead, lift the hips up and remove the block from underneath. Just place that to the side for a moment. Let's go ahead and take the soles of the feet here and bring them together and allow the knees to fall open. Now another variation here, if you want to take it, go ahead and show you. If you have your rolled up blanket handy, you can place that rolled up blanket lengthwise and allow your spine to lay back on it. So it's kind of like the use of, if you don't have a bolster or a pillow, this allows for a little more opening of the chest. Again, palms can face up here. And whether or not you're on your back flat or if you're using this little opening of the chest, and just kind of take the time here, taking a few breaths, allowing the spine just to feel lengthened out. Take 2 more breaths here. All right, 1 more breath. All right, and if you have that blanket underneath, go ahead, just roll off to one side and take it from underneath the back. I'm just going to have it handy. We'll probably finish up with our practice shortly. All right, and just walk the feet in, and I should say walk them in towards your hips and toward your bum, but take them out wide on your mat so allow the knees to fall in towards each other. And we're just going to place the hands on the belly here if you wish to. Maybe one on the belly, one on the heart. And just feel the breath, the sensations coming in and out of the body, the inhales and exhales for a few moments. So then bringing your hands to like a V shape. They're not quite to a T, or maybe the elbows are a little bent here. We're going to take the legs, and you can kind of have them about hips distance apart. Just going to shift the hips over to the right, and then we're just going to drop the knees to the left. And they don't have to be stacked, but if it feels uncomfortable, you can always place the block or a blanket between the legs, the knees. You can take the gaze up towards the ceiling or maybe over towards the left or the right. Go ahead and bring yourself back to the center. Again, maybe just keep the arms where they are. Again, we'll shift the hips now over to the left side and drop them over to the right. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or maybe over to the left side. Go ahead and bring the legs back to center. Okay, and just gently squeeze the knees, both of them into the chest. And this is where you can kind of rock yourself a little side to side. And let's, from here, you can kind of grab onto your ankles or the soles of the feet or the toes, and let's kind of finish off with a happy baby. Yeah, just kind of find whatever positions, and if this isn't like very suitable, just kind of bring the legs here. You know, you're still opening the hips, so it's not important on necessarily where you hold your legs, or maybe they're straight here, or maybe they're bent. But just go ahead and keep the head and the shoulders down the mat. If you want to, rock side to side a little bit. Now I'm going to invite you from here, just kind of finding your Shavasana. Taking the time, if you want to, maybe you kind of like the setup from the beginning of class. And I'm actually going to do that. So it's rolling off to one side to press yourself up. And again, setting up the blocks. Or maybe you just want to use the blanket, that's okay too. And having that blanket roll handy. This is just, again, one option. You know, you can always, if there's another option that's better for you, if you like just laying flat on the back, yeah, that's, just go ahead and do that. You're just finding whatever your space is. And if you drift off to sleep, that's okay. I will be here the entire time with you guys. Hopefully I won't fall asleep. So go ahead and sink into whatever your Shavasana is. Allow the body to rest on the mat. Allowing the arms to rest at your sides, palms up. And to begin to become aware of that breath, of your breath. And just focusing on the sensations in your nostrils. How it feels as it's moving in and out. And how it feels as it goes down your spine and comes back up again, exiting the body. And if your thoughts begin to wander, just come back to that very sensation, that same sensation of the way the breath feels coming in and out of the nostrils. so starting to invite a little bit of movement back into the body. So, just how we started our practice, just maybe taking the head and just gently moving it with your exhale to one side, inhaling it back to center, and then taking it over to the opposite side. And then incorporate the gentle movements of fingers and toes. Maybe ankles and moving the wrists. And then taking the head, the hands above the head, maybe stretching that body out. And then we're going to gently walk our knees in and bring them into the chest. And then rolling over to your favorite side, whatever that is, and just using that arm as your pillow. And just taking a few breaths as we rest here in the fetal position for a moment. All right, and using your other hand to gently press yourself back up. And I'm just going to move the props to the side for a sec. Come to your nice, easy seat. And your eyes are at a soft gaze or they're closed. Taking a full breath and just lengthening the spine. Go ahead, inhale, reach those arms up all the way above the head, and we're going to connect the palms here, exhaling them down to our heart center. So take a few moments to come back to your intention that you set, that intention of gratitude, or whatever it happened to be based upon. So I want to thank each and every one of you for participating and being part of this community and participating in this class today. If you missed it, no biggie, it'll be here for you available. So go ahead and bring your thumb knuckles up to your third eye center of the forehead. The divine light, may honors the divine light in each of you. And together we bow. Namaste. Thank you so much again for joining, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.